Hello, welcome to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will learn about aggregate function in SQL. So in earlier video, we saw how we can install the sample database. We also saw the basic select statement, and today we will be talking about aggregate functions. So let's get started with it. All right. So what you need to do is once you want to do the hands-on, you need to just go to your SSMS. You need to connect with this database called AdventureWorks LT 2019. LT stands for light version of the database. Now this installation, how to install this, is already taught by me in the previous videos. The first one is the installing the sample database. You can watch it out and you'll get to know how to do that. Now let's talk about aggregate functions, right? So aggregate functions are those functions which are based on the aggregation. For example, let's take these functions. So these are all aggregate functions. Let's talk about them one by one. So let's talk about count. Let's say I have a table and I want to know the count, the total number of rows in that entire table. I can use count statement. So let's see how we can use it. For that, obviously you need to have a table, right? So my database is AdventureWorks LT 2019. I don't know what tables are present in this database. So I'll just click on this plus icon on the tables. Now I have these many tables. So let me see how many number of rows I have in this table called sales lt.product. So let me just write a query, select star from the table name. Okay, so what's my table name? Sales lt dot product. Okay, so now if I just run this, it will not tell me the count. It will show me the entire table as you saw in the previous video. It's a star statement, means it will show all the columns present in the table. But one thing to note here is on the bottom right side of the SSMS, you will see there are 295 rows, right? Now, same thing you want to see in the output screen, how you can do that. I will just say select count of star. I'll put star in the bracket. Even if I don't put the bracket, then also it's fine. I will execute it and it will show me 295. Okay, so once I executed, it showed me 295, and if I remove and execute it, it shows me 295. That means the count is same, right? So this is how this count star statement works, right? Now let's move further with the fun fact. Just see, if we have a count statement, it have very specific handling for null values. For example, in this, no row was null because obviously the entire row, all the columns should be null. For that specific row, it's not the case, right? But wherever, let's say, we have nulls. For example, we have 295 rows, but if I just write select the column name, for example, discontinued date from sales lt.product, the answer will be different. Let's try. So if I just write down discontinued and then date, so if I just press tab and I just want to have the count of this. So now just keep this number in mind, which is 295. Let me just execute this statement. It's saying me 0. Why? Although we have 295 rows in the table, but it is showing 0. The reason being, this entire column is made of null, and null is not counted whenever we are talking about a specific column. So you need to keep this in mind. Okay. Now let's move further with another statement called sum. Sum is very easy. Let me just take back the table, right? So this is our table. I want to know the schema of this table. So what I will do is I will just select it and I will just press Alt and then I will just press F1. Alt F1. Now I will get to know all the rows which are present. So I know the product category is integer, product model is integer, and so on. I know which which column is of type integer. So what I want is, now I know this number is of integer. What I want to do is, and I have money, right? The standard cost. It's also money and it's a number, right? So what I will do is I will use select, right, sum is an aggregate function. It will do the sum of entire column based on standard cost. So let me just put standard cost as the column name. Now let me just do the spell check. Let me just copy it and paste it over here. Okay, so sometimes IntelliSense don't work, and I'll just write from clause, and now I guess it's fine. Now I will execute this. So just see, it will give me the sum of all the entire column as a one output. So this is how sum works. So sum is another average aggregate function. Then we have average, mean and max. They work in same way. So if I write avg, which is average, and I execute it, it will give me the average of all the columns. Means sum of all the columns divide by total number of columns, which is approximately 295. Now let's move further with minimum value. So the minimum value in this of the standard cost is what? 0.8565. So this is the minimum value. If I want to see the maximum value, I can just write max, and it is 2171. So these are the main aggregate function: count, sum, average, mean and max. Now these are also aggregate functions, but we will be knowing about them in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned about these two aggregate functions. Now let me go to the fun fact. So most aggregate function ignore null values in their calculation. So everything ignore. Like for example, we saw the count one, right? So in the entire column, everywhere it was null, and when we took the count of that, it told us 0, right? For example, if I am selecting two columns, there is a column A and a column B. Now let's say in the first row, value for column A is present, for B it's not present, and in second row for B it's present but for A it's not present, vice versa. So what will happen is it will give me count of 2, because at least one value is non-null, and I am just using star, right? So if at least in my entire row one value is non-null, it will be counted. So you can take it that way. I hope you got to know about the aggregate functions. In the upcoming videos, we will see further topics like group by, having, and then further advanced topics. So I have created an entire list. We will be following that. Thank you.